On the evening of May 20, 2026, the thick, humid air of Istanbul hung heavy over Beşiktaş Park. Aston Villa stepped onto the pitch carrying a severe historical burden. The club had gone 44 years without a European trophy, and 3 full decades without major silverware of any kind. In 2019, the club was in the second division, under the threat of liquidation and struggling to stabilize its ownership. This match represents the end of a 7-year project to reorganize the club's scouting, financial management, and tactical identity. It is a vast distance from those bleak days in the residential streets of Birmingham to the edge of European glory in Turkey. The match was the final test for a hierarchy that had replaced a cycle of mismanagement with a rigorous, data-driven approach to recruitment and coaching. Standing in their way was SC Freiburg. The German side was appearing in their first ever European final, an aggressive team playing with absolute freedom and zero expectations. For the first 40 minutes, Freiburg dictated the tempo. The match was a scrappy, cagey affair, defined by suffocating defensive tension. That anxiety compounded a terrifying pre-match scare. Aston Villa's goalkeeper, Emiliano Martinez, suffered a broken finger in warm-ups, threatening the structural integrity of their defense before the whistle even blew. In the stands, the traveling supporters felt the pressure mounting. Tens of thousands of fans wearing claret and blue had waited a lifetime for this fixture, only to watch their team struggle to locate a higher gear. This frustrating opening sequence offered the ultimate psychological test. A club burdened by a long history of near misses had to hold their nerve. Pace quickens. The deadlock finally broke in the 41st minute when Youri Tielemans met a short corner with a low, right-footed volley. That opening goal was the product of precise engineering by set-piece coach Austin McPhee. This diagram shows the specific sequence. A clustered group of decoy runners draws the defenders away, leaving a single target completely unmarked at the edge of the penalty area. The squad rehearsed this exact deception just 2 days prior. They recognized Freiburg's specific marking scheme, deployed the short passing line to bypass it entirely, and converted the strike. Deep in first-half stoppage time, Emiliano Buendía doubled the lead, whipping a spectacular curling shot into the top corner. Manager Unai Emery built a tactical framework that invited Freiburg's high press, creating the exact pockets of space his attacking players needed to punish the German side on the transition. These 2 rapid-fire goals demonstrated a lethal execution of rehearsed intellect and absolute attacking freedom. In the 58th minute, Morgan Rogers tapped in a close-range goal to deliver the knockout blow. The finish capped off a phenomenal individual campaign for Rogers, who would go on to secure the tournament's Player of the Season award. A look at the match data reveals a distinct paradox. This bar chart tracks possession throughout the game, showing SC Freiburg actually holding on to the ball 51% of the time. Yet that possession proved entirely useless. As this comparative chart illustrates, Aston Villa dominated the offensive output, registering a staggering 17 goal attempts to Freiburg's 4. Villa deliberately turned their opponent's possession into a harmless trap. They executed a strategy of tactical suffocation, allowing Freiburg to hold the ball in non-threatening areas while maintaining absolute efficiency in the final third. When the final whistle blew on the 3-0 victory, the release of tension was visceral. Emiliano Martinez collapsed to the turf before giving Unai Emery a piggyback ride across the pitch. John McGinn collected the heavy, handleless silver vase, bringing major silverware back to Birmingham at last. The rebuilt squad crowded the podium in a collective release of joy, realizing the absolute pinnacle of their European campaign. For Unai Emery, the victory cemented a towering personal legacy. He secured a record-extending 5th UEFA Europa League title as manager. The celebrations on the pitch permanently erased decades of institutional trauma and fan heartbreak, closing the chapter on the club's darkest era. Beyond the emotional catharsis, the victory triggers a massive financial and strategic windfall in the boardroom. This flowchart breaks down the payout structure. The revenue splits into a base bonus, a market pool, and a UEFA value pillar. For Premier League teams like Aston Villa, high domestic broadcasting coefficients cause the value pillar to swell exponentially, heavily multiplying their overall payout. The ultimate prize secured in Istanbul is immediate, automatic qualification into the league phase of the 2026-27 Champions League. Unai Emery delivered a precise statement of intent. We are not going to stop. Istanbul wasn't an isolated result, but a validation of a strategy built on set-piece mastery and depth. By securing Champions League football and tens of millions in revenue, Aston Villa moved from a period of recovery to a consistent presence in Europe's primary competition.